Hi, welcome back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. So we're gonna do another round on this slow E major kind of country rock piece. It's there's a video a day or two ago where we used the same backing track. We went over the progression. We talked about using E major pentatonic and learned some triad shapes and stuff for it. And there's just been a lot of good comments, and people just seemed really interested in this, and it made sense to a lot of folks. So, if you want to go back and check that one out, if you haven't seen it, please do. Put the channel in chronological order. It'll just be in the last couple days, and I think the title is "Making Strong Melody Out of Basic Triad Shapes." Might not be that verbatim, but it's something like that. And so today we're not going to spend a lot of time going over the progression and stuff. I will put uh, several minutes of the that backing track at the end of this lesson, and it has a chord chart in it. Um, but I will talk about the chords as we go because the skills that we're working on today and that were featured in that lesson a couple days ago um, have two main things going on. Major pentatonic, which is kind of this overarching thing where you can't really play a bad note, right? Here's a little example of that. But just use E major pentatonic and just kind of do whatever I want. Okay. Now, that's great. You want things that you know are going to work, right? So you have a lot of security with that. It's like, hey, you know what? If I once I get that scale down, I know I'm going to be able to just kind of, wander freely with that. And that's a good thing because then you can kind of tune out from focusing all your attention on, oh, what notes I got, what's the next note, and start making more kind of, nuanced choices musically. Um, and so that's one of the real kind of basic tenets on this channel, right? Is that we're scaffolding, right? We're using things that we know will work that are kind of low risk. If you look at it as like a risk scale, I don't know if that's necessary, but right, it's like you know really safe stuff, and then you work on the embellishments and things, and you build off of that. But it's important to have that scaffolding, right? So that you're not just kind of like jumping on YouTube and trying to learn, the hottest lick ever played and just, face planting every time. That's really discouraging. That still happens to me, by the way, all the time. So, here we try to really build you up, right? And so that's great. So warm up on that just kind of open exploration of that E major pentatonic with a progression like this. But then, even in what I played, you could hear right away that it was lacking. So, it very quickly became pedestrian, and I was just kind of playing eighth notes, and just kind of going back and forth, and it doesn't sound bad, but there's room for improvement. Okay, and here's our plan for some renovations on that right away today. Is that if we, along with that freedom and that kind of low risk, use of the scale, we can free up enough of our mind's eye to an attention, really is, I guess, the term, free up enough of our attention reservoir to direct it towards what uh, chord we're approaching each time. Then we start to make choices that really sound melodic. And we don't have to do that in super, elaborate ways at first. We can just break it down into triads, right? The roots, thirds, and fifths of each one of those chords. And, that's an undertaking if you're not used to that or you haven't really gotten into this in that manner. You got work to do, right? but you know that the work is doable and it's going to pay off. Right? It's not going to leave you stranded after 2 weeks of practice and still just kind of, stressing out over it, right? And here's some ideas. We're just going to jump right into this now. Now, this sounds like the beginning Okay. Now, you may have to forgive me here. I probably put some diatonic notes in there, here and there. But what I was doing was sort of demonstrating what it's like for me to apply the process that I just described to you. Okay. I started thinking about what's the next chord, right? And then, my finger just kind of automatically there went to, different notes and things. But for the 90% of it was just triad notes. Okay, so here's a process for you to, adopt if it makes sense to you, and your own, knowledge base that you have already, combined with your sense of musical language, what sounds good to you, will steer where this leads you. Okay, so let's go E. Our second chord is A. Okay, so I like this area right here. I like to slide. Well, that's just the root of E. E. And then when you hit that E again, though, when it goes to the A chord, it's harmonized with it. See, you don't need a lot of notes and always have to be chasing down a whole new bunch of notes, right? It's you because a lot of these things will overlap. That's what it means to be in a key, right? You don't have to, slice and dice that 6 ways to Sunday either to use it, right? So let's look at this little pocket. That seems to be working out for the E and the A. What happens when we get to the B? But here it is just kind of taking one group of notes like that and starting to look for a few little chord tones. There's an A. Okay. Now, you know what? That's not a half bad, you know, framework for a pretty good solo in a song where you've got, a band or you've got somebody, singing, a duo where you're singing a tune and you're just going to do a solo here and there, in each song a couple times around the progression. That would be great. And it would be appropriate, it doesn't have to be a 6-minute jam on every tune. No, nothing wrong with 6-minute jams, by the way. But you know what I mean. That kind of real melodic kind of has a beginning and a middle and an end. You can play in very simple systems of notes and get a lot of music out of it like that. So here's a something that you can do on just about any. Now all these chords are major, So we're going to be able to transfer this stuff very easily from one chord to another. Um, Now, I know I was doing this over the E. Just a good example of how they work in more than one part of the progression. Many of them, but if you're just looking at chords that are based on this kind of E cage shape, a regular root 6 bar chord. I'm going way up here because it's the same as right. One thing you can do right away is any major chord like that you can associate with its E cage shape. Okay, don't take my word for it. Put that track on there, or your loop, or whatever you're doing, or your other guy you're playing guitar with, or girl. Let's try it on E. Now this is instant jam. Okay, now again, gets pretty pedestrian pretty quick, but you gotta start by being able to map that out. Spend time on it, right? And then the next step for that one is to explore which notes. Usually you can go up 2 frets. That will work. And then after that, I'll go ahead and show you this and we'll put the track back on, is each one of those can be bent when you get to that third note. Okay, now sometimes they want to be bent a little further than another time and things like that. But those are stuff your ear was going to work that out. It's going to work out, right? This is a formula that works. See, my body just starts reaching for more stuff right there. I'm actually holding myself back because I'm trying to show you just that aspect of it. That works. That's something you can take to the bank right there. And again, at first, isn't it cool how you ever notice how you see something, you're like, man, that's all right. Yeah. I'm going to I'm going to stop what I'm doing and, get this video down and really learn that because that sounds cool. Well, then, soon after that, you're like, okay, yeah, but there's something you want more. You always want more, right? That's the good thing. That's what's fun about music. But putting things in an order that's sensible for you to get to that next, embellishment or that next level of expression is what's important. That's what this method tries to really is based on. So you can just stay right here and kind of use those same principles, and you can see that when you do it like this, of course, you're going to be hitting chord tones for each one because you're. because you're literally your fingers are right there, root, third, fifth. It turns out that in this little box, you're gonna hit a bunch of you got a bunch of chord tones accessible to you for each one of the chords. So that's when you can really get into the bending and kind of working out in one spot. That's A, the fifth of A. That's kind of an interesting one because when I bend this one for the E, it's that note. It's the third of E. The note's G sharp. And that's the fifth of E. B. Okay, if all that referencing that I just did doesn't make total sense, don't worry about that right now. But what I'm doing is I'm using my own kind of self-taught method of like checking how I reference like what fifths are. Yeah. Okay. So when you're bending staying in the same position, same thing up here, you're reaching that note. And that brings us to our final kind of lick idea here. And then I'll show you how to kind of practice putting some of this together. Another thing you can do is that for each one of these chords, that's the fifth, bending up to the third, that's the root. See how that makes that chord? Now, that's tough to do physically, so don't kill yourself doing that at first. But, if you're getting there with what we're talking about there, that's one of the next things you can do. Now this, you saw me do that in both of these intros the last couple of lessons. That's the same as, so again, my little favorite box down here, check this out. Okay, I almost tried to play an A there at the end, didn't I? Right? And, I just kind of corrected it. Like I was going, right when my ear caught the something, and then the hand just kind of slipped into place. So, what I showed you today was, a little bit of an advancement from those skills from the other day. But if you put these two together, I think, and it doesn't matter if you play all the licks and ideas that I just showed you. The important thing is that you see that mapping, that you see that those melodic lines are parts of chords and how they're repeated at different parts of the neck. That'll take you far, and just whatever works out for you on that, just be with that, use it, come back later. I've had people say often on the channel, this one video, I just didn't get it. And now it's like a year later, and I'm watching that one. And after I've been working on this other stuff on here, and it's just like, you know, kind of slipped into place for me or something. I love hearing about, the successes of the process of your learning, right? This is something that, um, everybody on YouTube's kind of presenting the same information, right? It's finding a method and something that you can relate to, where you can kind of keep working on a path, right? And hopefully, my path and your path are finding some intersection. Let me know how it goes. Talk to you next time.